Jamaica, yeah.
She was like, why? I said, because these guys are Jamaican and you're Jamaican. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, I just need you. I need your help, right?
Yeah.
So she's went Camden, pulled up, and the guys are outside. So she's already arrived. Yeah.
Amy.
She's already arrived. She's already gone in.
Okay.
And the boys are just standing outside. So I pulled up, cut that out. I was like, yeah, you're right, guys. They're like, all right.
Yeah,
I was like,
just
it's gonna be good, yeah. So I was like, you guys want a drink or anything? I'm just gonna get my missus a coffee. Like, she's in the car. And I looked at the car and I went, what, is that you, bro? I'm like, yeah, that's me, man. Yeah. That's me. They were like, where's wifey from? I said, she's from St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. And one of them was going, no way, that's where I'm from. I was like, oh, there you go.
Icebreaker, yeah.
I was like, babe, come out.
Yeah.
So she's come out, we all introduced, you know what I mean? It was wicked, man. And we started to build like a really nice relationship, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Started to get really nice pictures of Amy. We started to be in control of it. Yeah, which was really good because it was good for her. She had a little bit of, like, we were just playing with the other press, the other paps.
Yeah, so
do you know what I mean? Like, mate, we'd get her out of places. Yeah. They'd be like, how are we gonna get her out? I'd be like, right, find someone who's the same sort of build as her inside the venue, right? Let's get a taxi. Yeah, put it up quick. Yeah. Run her out. You guys run her out into the taxi. Get in the taxi with her. Gone. Yeah. Everyone's gonna follow you.
Yeah,
it's like a decoy.
Everyone's gonna follow you.
Yeah.
Give it 2 minutes. Take her out another door somewhere. Have the car ready. Yeah, and that's what we did. We should just muck about. We should just be in control.
Yeah,
you know, and it was cool. It was like they could look at their photos and say, "Oh, she doesn't look that great in that one. Don't put it out." Okay, cool, no problem. Bang, deleted. And that's how we worked. We worked like that for like 5 years, and every day we were like building our relationship. You know, like, and then obviously one day there was a sad day. You know.
Yeah.
When she passed.
Why do you think, like, obviously, like, when you went to the trailer quickly,
yeah.
Obviously, I spoke to my brethren, and obviously, I remember the documentary that came out, and obviously her parents was really involved. Remember the documentary that came out? I don't know if it was on BBC or whatnot. And obviously, like, I saw, like, certain people had this kind of, not her, but certain people kind of maybe gave her this stigma of, like, obviously, you know, she was on drugs and all of this shit. And it's like she was misunderstood, you got what I'm trying to say? And it's like, why do you think a lot of people just took to that particular stigma of, like, oh, she was, you know, she took a lot of drugs and whatever, rather than focusing on a human who was very gifted, you get me?
Yeah, exactly. First of all, you can only blame the British press.
Yeah.
Not so much the photographers, because the photographers are just going to get pictures, they're getting paid. But you've got to blame the people that are writing the stories.
Painting the narrative.
Yeah, they're painting the narrative. Look, how many celebrities have they done it with? Build them up to be this like amazing, we love you, and then it's literally like, bang, we're going to kill her, we're going to put her down till they're finished.
Even the relationship that she was kept using that as the... Yeah.
And
why though? Like, sorry to even cut you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I have certain conversations, I just want to sometimes get a certain understanding. Because I'm thinking,
listen, you got to think. People like. Unfortunately, we live in a world, where people like to. It's flipped somewhere along the line. Do you know what I mean? Where people aren't happy for people anymore.
Yeah.
People are jealous for people, so they know that by showing someone in their bad way, they can make people.
Also turn against them and look at them in a different way.
Anyway, you start looking at people in a different way. Do you know what I mean? And it's horrible. And I started to, by the end of, probably 2 years before Amy passed away, I had enough of it anyway. Being in that industry, I hated it. I started to realise what I was involved in, and it just wasn't nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do regret being out there taking some of the pictures that I took, but I can't go back and change it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why even quickly, cut you again, yeah? That's why even quickly, like, I've been meaning to ask you this question as well, yeah? Because obviously, before, like we said, before social media, like, newspapers, photographers who go out and follow different celebrities and get pictures of them, you obviously, this used to be a big thing before social media. And my question to you, it was literally, like, it's a good segue with what you said. It's like, didn't you, obviously you just kind of answered it, if we can go into a little bit more details in terms of like, didn't you feel bad in terms of like, obviously, you know, like maybe following around certain celebrities, taking pictures? Because obviously like,
do you know
some
what?
of them
So
used to get stressed, some of them used to get...
I'll be totally honest with you, right?
Yeah.
I used to be, I tried to keep to the rules as much as I could.
What's the rules?
I try not to overstep boundaries.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like if the celebrity went in the hotel, they're in the hotel, they're in their safe space now. Let them go, let them do their thing.
Yeah, you're not gonna go into the hotel.
I'm not gonna go into the hotel where there was other photographers who just be like, do you know what? I'm going in. Straight in, didn't care.
Yeah.
Property. I'd never climb over someone's property to get in there. I'd never put anyone's life in danger to get the picture. Do you know what I mean? If it started to get a bit, just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? There's you know, if it did get a bit heated, try and calm it down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But there are other photographers out there that would literally like...
They'll do everything.
Oh, mate, listen, they'll be calling them all sorts of names just to get a reaction. Do you know what I mean? Like, horrible. But look, I fell into it. And honestly, I only fell into it because... how I told you earlier, I fell into it. Yeah. And to be honest with you, my thoughts at the beginning was, I'm going to get some money together and I'm going to go into the studio and make some music.
Yeah, yeah.
But 17 years, you know, like it just goes when you're earning and you're doing, you know, life starts. And then, you know, by the time you're 30, and then you get to 40 and then, you know, I'm 45.
Especially if
you know, it's like...
if you start starting your own family as well and you've got other things as
well. Man, do you know what I mean? It was, to be honest with you, look, the celebrity thing, I've never really been into celebrities. It was a money thing for me. Yeah? It was never like, oh my God, there's Madonna. You know, like, no.
Yeah, it was...
I think there was 3 times that I just stopped doing anything because I couldn't, like, and that was with Michael Jackson, I was in this hotel and there was just like thousands of people there, and I was like screaming, yeah. And he walked past me and stopped and waved, and I just froze. I was like, oh my God, I missed it, man. Do you know what I mean? But like, understandable, man. It's Michael Jackson. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Those fans, like, my God, when you say super fans, like, oh my God, these guys are like...
They used to collapse and all those type of thing. Yeah.
Michael Jackson had a different energy.
Michael Jackson was one of them. The other one was Pele. Yeah. I froze in front of Pele. Yeah. I share the same birthday with him.
Oh, shit.
And I froze in front of him because he's my dad's favourite baller. Do you know what I mean? Like, used to watch videos on him and just be like, wow. You know, like... 16 winning a World Cup and whatever. Was he 15 or 16? He was 16.
I think it was around 16. Yeah.
It was that was one. And the other one was, you're probably gonna laugh when I tell you.
No, everyone's got their own, their own celebrities. Trust me, man.
Stevie Wonder.
Come on.
Oh mate, listen. Outside the hotel, man, I went to take his picture and the guy was like, please, and I was like, oh my God, it's Stevie Wonder. Yeah. Stevie. Just wanted to wave, man. That was good enough for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went to see him in concert actually. Like, wow.
Yeah.
What a performer.
Definitely.
What an entertainer, man.
So even when you was like, you know, when you was doing, you know, obviously you was doing your thing. You was going around. Obviously, you know, like being Amy Winehouse's photographer. Yeah. Even before officially becoming Amy Winehouse photographer. Yeah. Like when you was going around taking pictures, doing all of these things, being a photographer. Yeah. Like at one stage. Did you ever think about maybe like starting your own agency to recruit more photographers?
Yeah, so
you was in it for 17 years.
So about halfway through, I set up my own agency, and by the end of it,
that's like the default.
By the end of it, I had my own agency, and we had about 20 guys working for us. But you know, it came to like a real abrupt end. You know, like it just when Amy went, it was. I completely had enough by then anyway. Yeah. But that was just like the
final straw.
Yeah, I just didn't want anything to do with it.
The stigma around.
It was horrible, man. I basically sat around for 4 years twiddling my thumbs like, what am I gonna do? I don't want to be a photographer anymore. I hate it. I can't pick up a camera. Like I physically feel sick picking up my camera stuff. Do you know what I mean? I can't do that anymore. What am I gonna do? And like, you know, money doesn't last forever, man. Do you know what I mean? Money started dwindling away, got down to the last little pieces of it, and You're just like, wow, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I need to really start to think hard, because 4 years can just go, man, when you're trying to come up with ideas.
Come on,
and,
yeah.
You know, that's a failure, that's a failure, that's a failure. You start believing, like, oh, this is not good, you know what I mean? This is closing, that's closing down. And this is like, you know, it's starting panicking a little bit. Money's going. But eventually we sat down, me and my brother, and we looked at what we had, which was a massive library of images. And we decided to make cardboard face masks.
Okay.
Yeah? Because we didn't need to license the pictures, because we owned them already.
Yeah.
Right? You're not trying to create merchandise, you're selling the photo of the face, right?
Yeah.
So you're not infringing on the copyright stuff or the so we started making these cardboard face masks, cheap fancy dress, £2.50 a thing, but it's numbers, do you know what I mean? You've got to sell thousands of them. And we started to sell, it was really good, we started to do it. Got this printer, literally spent the last little bit of money we had on the printer, and then one day I was sitting there, when it was all working, I was sitting there and I went through the manual of the printer, and I was like, oh wow, I can do like sign writing, I can do like all sorts of stuff on here. So I started to like think out the box, and we set up a little car wrapping company.
Okay.
Wrapping cars
Wrapping
and doing
cars.
like car graphics and stuff like that. And that's what I'm doing today. That's what I still do today, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got like a little graphics team.
I want to ask you a
Little
quick question
shop.
as well, yeah?
Yeah.
From the beginning, when we spoke up, when obviously you started telling us about your story and your journey and everything that you've been through, yeah? Obviously, usually we get two types of people in it. You get one person, like, one of them is like kind of like you, where it's like, for whatever reason, it's like you've got this drive where it's like, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to try that. But it's like you just keep on, you know, like trying different things. And then you've got other people, for whatever reasons, once again, it's like, it's like they overthink certain things or whatever. Like, where did that kind of personality come from? Because it seems like, you get me, it seemed like you've had this mentality from early, if you get what I'm saying, like trying this and that, and just keep on going, which is a very, very good, obviously, a very good mentality to have, but not everybody's got that mentality, especially from very earlier on, you get me? Like, where did this mentality come from? Like, is it from your dad, or that was just you? You get me? Like,
it's installed from my parents.
You get me?
It's installed from my grandparents. Do you know what I mean? And I think you just got to be positive in life. Even when you get told no, take that no, flip it around, and do your best and make it a yes, because what's a no? No's just a no, I've had so many no's in my life, and I just don't accept them. He's going to say no, she's going to say no, that one's going to say no, but there's how many millions of people in the world? How many billions of people in the world?
Exactly.
Yeah?
When I'm working, like, that's what I do, because I'm in sales, innit? And obviously, you know, like in sales, it's like, obviously, you hear a lot of no's.
Around,
exactly.
You just got to take that no and just see you later.
Yeah.
Just a number.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, you just got to be positive and you just got to move forward. Everything's got to be positive thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Coming down to my music, so
yeah,
I met this Jamaican girl while I was out emceeing in a club in Tottenham, in Opera House actually. Yeah.
Opera House, come on, legendary.
Exactly, yeah. So I was emceeing in there for Passion FM, and it was Masquerade. So big up Kiri. I can't remember who was DJing that night, but big up Kiri and all the gang that used to go down there. And there was this girl, and she was just looking at me. I was looking at her. I was just like, oh my god, she's hot. You know what I mean? She's hot.
Come on.
Man, I should just go over there and talk to her. Oh, no, Elliot, you can't. Yeah, you can. No, you can't. Oh, just go do it. So I've got the courage, gone up there, and I was like, hey, like, what's your name? I'll get you a drink. Ended up at the bar, talking. The promoters come up to me and is like, are you working tonight? And I just looked there and I was like, do you know what? Nah.
Raw.
I was like, nah, man. And I just handed him back the mic and he was like, I'm paying you. And I was like,
I got something better here.
I've got something to do tonight, man. Do you know what I mean? And we just talked and we sat there and talked and we went somewhere else and we talked, we got something to eat. I dropped her home, do you know what I mean? And I phoned the next day and it was like, do you know what I mean? And like, we're still together. We're married. We've got 3 children. We're like 20 years together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a congratulations, man.
So like, and yeah, she's beautiful, man. She's everything to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Before I want us obviously talk about a little bit more about family, like towards the end of the conversation. Yeah. Okay. I want us to speak about. I don't know if you remember. Obviously, we had a brief conversation on the phone. Yeah. And you touched on something about obviously like was it something to do with what was it? Was it something to do with basically, you know, like in terms of like obviously like in terms of like people on the world? We spoke about something about, you remember the area that you lived in, and you touched on something about there's some weird shit that goes on in one of the areas. Something we touched on,
So
and obviously even in terms of the
so
music that you
basically,
make and that.
I'll tell you. So
Yeah,
whilst doing my papping and obviously having a Jamaican girlfriend at the time,
yeah,
and where I lived and where I was brought up and my friends, very Caribbean background, actually different backgrounds, African, Caribbean, Indian, Chinese, Jewish, Christian, Greeks, all sorts, yeah? And we all just cool with each other and just religion, colour didn't make a difference.
Just all vibes.
Yeah, man. And my missus took me to Jamaica for the first time, right? And you know, I loved reggae growing up anyway, but it wasn't just my music. I loved all sorts of music, but she took me there, and oh my God, like, it hit me. Like, literally,
I can even see the smile on your face,
it
bro.
hit me. I was like, oh my God, this is me. This is definitely me.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in Greece, someone was like, you should do reggae, bro. Your voice suits it. And I was like, oh, no, I can't do that, man. But when I got there, I was like, oh my God, yeah. And I remember getting on the plane when we were leaving, and I was like, yeah, babe, do you know what? She was like, what? I was like, one day I'm going to record a reggae album. And she was like, all right, put your seatbelt on, we're about to take off. Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Years went, had children, and then, but the whole time, while I was driving about, doing my pap stuff, if you saw me pass you in my car, I was either playing reggae or dancehall. Yeah, and it was thumping from the back of my car, bro. Like, literally, that's all I was playing. And I'll be singing along and just, I'll be like, do you know what? I can actually do this.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I've got the rasp in my voice. Like, I can hold those notes. Like, I can do it. And like, I think without even knowing, I was manifesting it. Not even knowing this stuff. Yeah. And eventually, COVID happened. My brother-in-law arrived from Wuhan. Some mad stuff happened.
Yeah, that's just tell me a little bit of that. Yeah, that's.
So basically, my brother-in-law came to see us because my third child was born. Yeah. So she was born on the 15th. He arrived on the 17th. He lives in Wuhan. Yeah, he's a Jamaican guy that lives in Wuhan, the epicenter of COVID. Yeah, and he's arrived.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's just on the news. It ain't really here yet, but it's just on the news, right? Yeah. And my friend picked him up, dropped him to the house from the airport and all that. He's like, have you seen the news? I'm like, nah. He's like, watch the news. If I die, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, what are you going on about? Anyway, watch the news. I'm like, oh my God, Dave. He's come running back down. He was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? Like, watch the news. Some sort of like virus going on in your place where you're from. He's like, yeah, man, it's just a rumour. There's like, no one's got it. Like, no one I know's got it. Like, it's just a rumour. I'm like, yeah, but you've come here. I've got kids. My dad's not been well. And da, 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 da. He's like, no, I'm all right. But like, it got really intense. Like, I started to watch a lot of news, and I started to fill my head with all this stuff, right? And I started to get like mad anxiety, and I thought I was dying. I thought I was having pains in my arms. Like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, blacking out. All sorts of stuff was happening to me, right? And luckily, it was at the time when it was before COVID had actually come out, because if it was during COVID, I would have probably gone to the hospital, said, I don't feel well. They would have said, right, lay down, stick that ventilator down your throat, and I would have been dead.
Yeah.
And I would have never seen my family again.
Yeah.
Right? But it was early on, and I ended up going to the doctor, and they were like, oh, you've just got anxiety, take these tablets for it, stop smoking weed. Yeah. So I was like, but that's not my that's all I do. I don't drink, I don't take drugs, all I do is smoke weed, do you know what I mean? And they were like, you got to stop, how old are you? And I was like, so I ended up stopping, and it was the weed and overthinking stuff, and that was what the problem was. I was having these mad panic attacks, but I sorted it all out. They gave me these pills to take, and I took 2 of them, and like, I was just like, the next morning my wife was like, do you feel better? I was like, I'm never taking them again.
Yeah, man.
I was like, they're going in the bin.
In the bin, mate.
Yeah.
It like sent me over the top. Like it was too much. Like, yeah. So I ended up dealing with myself. I started to actually self-medicate with CBD.
Big up CBD. Instead of getting high.
Instead of getting high, I was smoking the flower. I was getting the best flower you could get, all the same flavors, all the same taste, everything burnt the same, whatever. But I weren't getting high. It was just clearing my mind.
Yeah.
And I had a good 2 years of doing that, right? And in that time, just some mad stuff happened, and I had to take it upon myself to like try and wake some people up with regards to what's going on. I kind of worked out what was going on, and switched off the news and worked out that the agenda that they had in plan for us, and I had to flip it around quickly and sort of try to tell people to protect themselves and their families and stuff like that, which a lot of people didn't like. They didn't want to hear it. I got closed down a lot. I had death threats to the house.
Brainwashed.
Indoctrinated, I like to call it. And you'll find that most of the people that are indoctrinated have gone to university, have gone to like Polytechnic, have gone to like all these next level education stuff. Do you know what I mean? Where you're just being like fed more
bullshit.
Yeah. Do you know what? At school, this is one thing I remember at school. I always used to think to myself like, it feels like I've been taught this before, and it's not going to help me in the future. Do you know what I mean? I always used to think that, like, why are you teaching me this? Like, it's not going to help me. It's not going to benefit my life in any way. But, you know, like, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
Got told to stop talking the way I was talking.
Who was trying to tell you to stop? Like, was it different people?
Loads of people, like literally, like I got closed down. I got a lot of people on socials. Do you know what I mean? And like I'd be speaking up, and you know, like I'm a Jewish guy, and I started to talk about who runs the world, and and a lot of my people didn't like it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, they started to close me down, saying like, "Oh, you're sounding like anti-Semitic, and you're sounding like," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm just talking the truth. I'm not going to start bullshitting around anymore." Do you know what I mean? I've got a family that I love, right? And I want to look after them in the best way. And I've got friends that I love, and I want to look after them in the best way. And even my enemies, I want to look after them in the best way, because otherwise they ain't got no enemies. Do you know what I mean? Right? Bro, I'm just a real. Listen, I might look how I look. People might think about whatever they think about me, but really deep down, I'm the most loving, humble, nicest person you'll ever come across. Yeah.
But that time was, I ain't gonna lie, I had my own family.
It effed a lot of people up.
Saying I should take it and all that. I was like, listen, I don't believe in all that stuff.
Nah.
I mean, up until that time, like, we were fine. So how all of a sudden we're not fine now?
Crazy.
I haven't had like
crazy stuff.
I haven't had nothing wrong with my body.
Nothing.
Now you're saying there's something wrong with it.
I had friends ringing me up telling me, "Oh, you can't come out to eat with us. If we ever go on holiday, you can't come on holiday with us again. No, you're not welcome at our house.
What?
Your kids aren't welcome at my house." Like, I was like, what?
Crazy.
Crazy, bro. Like, crazy. Like, I lost so many close friends that I thought were my close friends that really were just acquaintances, people that I just come across along the journey. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
And you know what? Like, I still love you, all of you, if you're watching this. I do. I really do. Right? And I really do pray that you're all well and just get through all of this shit that they put upon us, right?
Yeah.
But had to leave a lot of people behind. But I also met a lot of new people that were on the same level, same
vibration,
path, same vibration.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's been a nice new journey. It's like a rebirth, if you like. Do you know what I mean?
Man.
And do you know what? Like, my dad was like, "Look, Elliot, love you to bits. You gotta stop talking how you're talking, because you're gonna ruin it for your kids. Yeah, you're gonna ruin it for your wife, and you don't want to do that. And I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said, look, if you want to talk and you want to speak up, you're good at music.
Use your music to
Put it in your music.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're right, Dad. You're right. So I ended up writing a couple of songs, shot a video for one of them, and yeah, it just all took off. You know, I mean, changed my name from Elliot, my MC name, to Israelite, and I started to record conscious reggae.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a beautiful journey, like beautiful, you know.
Yeah. Can we talk about like, by the way, yeah, you see that song that you sent me, yeah?
Yeah.
Bro.
Which song?
Beautiful. That reggae tune that you sent me. I can
Which
even
one did I send you?
through the DM. Let me even find it, yeah. Bro, I have to say, yeah, like even it's got a video. It's got a video, and I think the video was out in the
Fighting for
protest.
freedom.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That song is beautiful, man.
That was the first.
I'm gonna play it to him. That song, I need.
I love. I've listened to I listen to a lot of reggae. I love
Yeah.
reggae, all different types, like ska, all.
Yeah.
Cause you know, like once again, like I always try to just compare two types of people, yeah. And usually, obviously, with music, consuming whatever, you got people who, like the average listener, they just listen to whatever, and they can catch a little vibe, and you got people who just try to take in everything, listen to the words, everything, literally, like I dissected everything, and yeah, bro, man. You see what he said earlier, like it's like what your dad told you, like pull it into music.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was right, man, because it's just something about. Yeah,
My
there's
dad's
something
always
about.
right, man.
Yeah, man.
Is that recording? It's not recording, is it?
Yeah, no, it's recording.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's
My
recording.
dad's always right.
Yeah.
My dad's
Yeah,
always
man.
right. My dad, yeah.
Yeah.
I met this girl.
Yeah.
In Greece when I was there, yeah.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with this girl.
Yeah.
Brought her home. My dad's met my parents have met her and all that.
Yeah.
And then I went back out there with her. And I ended up proposing to her. I was young. I was really young, yeah, and I ended up proposing.
Yeah.
And I phoned home. I was like, Dad. He's like, what? I was like, guess what?
Yeah.
And he went, you ain't marrying her. You ain't marrying her. And I was like, what? He was like, Elliot, listen to me. She might be beautiful. She might be. Listen, trust me. Yeah. You're not marrying her. And I was like, okay. He's like,
Interesting.
finish it with her. You ain't marrying her.
Mm.
And he goes, I don't want you being with a girl like that. Trust me, I don't want you to be with a girl like that. Yeah, and I was like, all right, cool. And I ended up doing what he said. Yeah, do you know what? Thank you, Dad. I love you so much, because that would have been the worst thing I would have ever have done. I would have never have had my children that I've got now. Yeah. And that girl, please don't put this out there. Yeah. But this girl